Hello there and welcome back to Stylirish TV, where David McKernan is joining us now. Hi David, how are you? And listen, we are here today at the Restaurants Association of Ireland conference, and you've just made a fantastic speech, let me say.
I have. Thanks for that.
And listen, tell me how it's for you to be here today.
Why I was asked. Okay. The restaurant business is closely associated to our business because we're roasters, and the Restaurant Association in Ireland would probably be about 40% of our business in Ireland. So I did a speech somewhere, and I'm very direct, and I was told that I was very direct, too direct and blunt at times. So I think their president at the time, or sorry, their CEO, Adrian, asked me would I mind doing a talk. And because I don't charge, I get asked to do talks. And I'm very passionate about our business, about coffee, about ethics around coffee, about sports, about keeping fit and keeping positive in this climate, as we are under a little bit of pressure, as you guys know.
You were giving some suggestions actually to the other entrepreneurs about keeping fit and having good relationship with your family and so on. How is this important for you?
Okay, starts with. I mean, you're as an entrepreneur, you're the face of the business, and if you don't get yourself right, your brand is never going to be right. And I'm selfish about making sure that I get every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday to go to the gym. I run, I play tennis, do a little bit of golf when I'm allowed. I have 3 children under 8 and another one due in August. So I think it's essential to keep fit. And if you're not keeping fit, you don't keep the stress away. The stress is a huge killer of Irish people in business at the moment, and unfortunately we have a very high suicide rate, and there's an awful lot of pressure, internal and external, on entrepreneurs in Ireland, and there's no bank money, so there's a lot. The external factors are ferocious, and internally if you can't handle the stress, then what are you doing? It's not worth living. Yeah. And I think the fitness has had a huge effect on me and the business and the culture in the company.
How much passion is important in your business and in what you do?
Well, first of all, I've decided I'm going to stay in the business forever. I'm 42, so if I last another 30 years, I'll be probably in the business. I don't see myself retiring. I don't think there is an option to retire anymore anyway. I fully retire. I got into coffee at, I think I was 17 when I joined Beauty, which was the only company I ever worked for 12 years. And I had a fabulous time there and great teachers. So I got to love coffee. I can travel to the producing countries, and I can travel to the Western societies when they're doing shows or functions. So it actually allows you to see the world. And the most beautiful part of coffee is the farmers and their kids, because African kids are the most beautiful in the world, not excluding my own probably. Supposed to go to Haiti, supposed to go to Zambia over the next 6 weeks, so I do get a chance to travel. But I mean, I love coffee more than anything else, and it gives you an opportunity to get a great lifestyle and business out of it, and it's a great fun business. And then the advantage is to go to producing countries. It's absolutely fantastic. So, it's why wouldn't I be in coffee?
And what can you say about the coffee culture now in Ireland?
Yeah, the coffee culture. I mean, when I started in the business, there was one espresso machine, and I was in Dame Street in a restaurant. I think it was called Miko's. I'm trying to remember from my not a bad memory sometimes. So the culture from one espresso to having either instant coffee or filtered coffee, it has completely exploded. I mean, it's unrecognisable. Even every 5 years it jumps ahead. And we're good. Compared to Italy, we're not there yet, because you guys are drinking a huge amount of milk-based drinks in the morning and then espressos, and the culture of filtered coffee just doesn't exist there. But we're very influenced by what's going on in London, what's going on in the States, the West Coast particularly, and I mean Boston and New York and wherever else the influence comes. There's an awful lot of Irish people travel, and the advantage is that the big guys are going to copy the espressos and the cappuccinos, and you see the McDonald's doing it. Now there's a whole new culture about brewing filtered coffee and doing it different ways. So the advancement in Ireland has been unbelievable, and the advantage we had as a business is per kilo of coffee per year. We were so low. We're a culture of tea drinkers. So it's been a huge growth in the last 10 years. I mean, everybody now drinks coffee. And I do limit the amount of coffee. Should drink no more than 3 cups a day. But I don't think anybody else in the coffee industry would say that.
The research and the quality of coffee is very, very important for Java Republic. What can you tell me about it?
The quality is essential, and I'm not afraid to charge for it. But it's just in me. If I'm buying a pair of shoes, I'm not as bad as the Italians, because I don't dress as well as an Italian, but I just like good things. Like you guys love your Ducati bikes with Bologna. I mean, I just love good stuff, and if you get good stuff and it tastes right and you roast it right and you take care of it, it's going to make a great cup of coffee. And then it means I can charge for it and we can build a brand. And that was the plan from the beginning, and we've never wavered on it. And we would be very severe on that. And we get coffees from around the world, and I don't care who sends it in, unless it's right to taste, we won't touch it.
So one thing that you were saying before, be actually the face of your brand. I'm very, very interested about this. So what can you tell me, and what can you tell to the other Irish entrepreneurs?
Okay, well, let's see who's watching this video. You are the face. I mean, I've got the face that I've had for 42 years, but I'm lucky that I have a smiley, happy face, and I have lots of lines, and I'm going bald. But I am the face of Czech Republic, and for years I tried to hide away from it because there was a fair bit of stress goes on with it. Part of today is because I'm able to talk about coffee that I get asked to talk, whether I'm good or not. If I'm cheap enough, you get these gigs anyway. But you are the face of Czech Republic, and people look at you and they look at your tone. They look at your face, they look at the pressure you're under, and they look at you to inspire them about dealing with your company. And if you're not in shape and you're not focused and enthusiastic, and I am stupidly enthusiastic about coffee. I mean, if you look back at 11 years, sometimes I wonder how the hell we ever got to where we are. But it's enthusiasm, and I have that ingrained in my face, and I'm lucky that I smiled since I was a child, so I give that to my parents. But we are, as business people, as entrepreneurs, we are the face of the company.
One more thing that I would like to ask you, where do you see Ireland, let's say, in the next 5 years?
Where do I see Ireland in the next 5 years? God, you've probably got me there. We're going to have 2 years of tough, either no growth or decimated consumer spending. I think unemployment will go up to 20%, and I think the loans, when you guys get into this borrowing money, and the Portuguese get into the borrowing money, and the Greeks have got their money. I think if we could just sort out where we are. I mean, today there was bad news about AIB came out with 13 million loss. At least we now know where we are. So we're at the bottom in terms of finding out where the debt is. So we just need to move on, and we need to make sure that our businesses have bank money. And the biggest issue for me is that there's no bank, there's no cash. So that will have a huge effect. But I think whatever businesses are here now, hopefully will successfully survive into the next 2 years. And I think if we can get through the next 18 months, there'll be positive growth. And I think Irish people are very, very tough and resilient. We just need the banks on track, and we need Europe to give or forgive some of the loan, particularly the Germans. And once we get some stability there, I think we will fly back. And will we ever get back to where we were? We don't want to go back to where we were. We lost the run of ourselves. We accepted that. But that's the past, and the past is over. And that's the lovely thing about the past. It's gone, move on, and let's go. So I'd be very optimistic about how we're going to drive the business. And I will be very optimistic for Ireland, because I've been around a long time, and we're a tough group of people. As tough as the Italians when we have to be.
Thank you so much for being with us. It was absolutely a pleasure to meet you.
Cheers. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.